Welcome to part 2 of working with strings in Python. So what we're going to be covering first in this video is we're going to be looking at slicing strings. So a slice is a span of items that are taken from a sequence. When you take a slice from a string, you get a span of characters from within the string. String slices are also called substrings. So to get a slice of a string, you write an expression in the following format. So I'm just going to write it in a comment here. So in the general format, start is the index of the first character in the slice, and in is the index marking the end of the slice. The expression will return a string containing a copy of the characters from start up to, but not including the end value. So let's do a little demo of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set full name equals to Patty Lynn Smith, and then if I want to get her middle name, it'll be middle name, and then it'll equal to our full name, and we need to specify where we want to start. So if we look at this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we want to start at position 6, 7, 8, 9. We want to pull from 6 to 9, so our ending index must be 10. So if we go ahead and display our slice, it should be our middle name Lynn. Okay, if you leave out the start index in a slicing expression, Python uses 0 as the starting index. So if we wanted to go ahead and get the first name, we could go ahead and take a slice of full name, but what we're going to do is we're going to leave the starting index blank, and what we need to go through is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so we want to go through but not include position 5. And if we go ahead and display first name, it returns Patty. If you leave out the end index in the slicing expression, Python uses the length of the string as the end index. So if we want to go ahead and retrieve our last name equals to our full name, in order to retrieve the last name, we need to start at position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we want to pull everything through the end of the string, so we can leave that blank. And we now have our last name. The following statement, if I specify my string equal to full name, and if I do not include a starting index or ending index, it'll start at 0 and go through the length of the string. So what I should get back when I do this slice is the actual full name, which I do. Another way that you could pull out the full name using the slice operation is you could go ahead and specify my string equals to our full name, and then what we want to do is we want to start at position 0, and we want to go through the length of our full name. So if I go ahead and display my string again, we return the full name. So the slicing examples we've seen so far get slices of consecutive characters from strings. Slicing expressions can also have a step value, which can cause characters to be skipped in the string. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set letters equal to the letters of the alphabet. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so we have our letters, which should be the 26 letters in the alphabet. So if I want to go ahead and print every other letter starting at A, I can go ahead and specify 0 as my starting point up through but not including position 26. And then my third value is my step. Okay, what did I do here? Oh, I forgot to include it on letters. So that was a nice syntax there. So that would be letters starting at position 0 through 26. And we want to go ahead and use our step of position 2. So there we go. So we get every other letter in the alphabet starting at A. If we wanted to get every other letter in the alphabet starting at B, then we could just go ahead and change this. Change our start position to 1 through 26. We'll keep a step of 2. And what that should do is it should return every other letter starting at letter B. So you can also use negative numbers as indexes and slicing expressions to reference positions relative to the end of the string. So we're going to do this using our full name. So I just want to verify that Patty Lynn Smith is in there. So another way that we could retrieve the last name is we could go ahead and set that equal to our full name. And what we can do is we can start the slice at position -5. So if you start counting over from the right, -1 is H, -2 is T, -3 is I, -4 is M, and -5 is Smith. So that would be our beginning point. And what we want to do is we can just leave the ending position blank. And what that'll do is that'll go ahead and should assign Smith to our last name. So if we go ahead and display that, we have Smith in there. Okay, so that's slicing. What we're going to start looking at next is in and not in. So the in and not in operators can be used with strings just like with list values. An expression with two strings joined using in or not in will evaluate to a Boolean true or false. So an example of that is hello in hello world. It should return true. Is hello in hello, again it should return true. And is hello in hello world, and that should return false. And then if I check to see if cats is not in, that should return false because cats is in cats and dogs. So those are just examples of how you can use the in and not in operators. So what we're going to talk about for the rest of working with strings in Python are some of the functions or methods that you can go ahead and use. So first one we're going to look at is the upper, lower, is upper, and is lower methods. So the upper and lower string methods return a new string where all the letters in the original string have been converted to uppercase or lowercase respectively. Non-letter characters in the string remain unchanged. So if I go ahead and set spam equals to hello world, and then what I want to do is I want to capitalize all the letters in spam. So what I would do is I would just call the upper. And what that should do now is spam should be equal to all uppercase. If I wanted to lowercase it, I could just put spam equals to lower and print out spam again, and now it's all lowercase. So note that these methods do not change the string itself, but return a new string value. Strings are immutable, which means that once they are created, they cannot be changed. So if you want to change the original string, you have to call the upper or lower on the string and then assign the new string to the variable where the original was stored. So that's what we did. So if we just went ahead and specify, let me go ahead and just specify spam. So spam's all lowercase. If we just typed in spam dot upper, it'll return the uppercase, but the actual value of spam is still all lowercase. So basically the string is immutable. You cannot change it, change the value, but what they do is they return new string values. So the upper and lower methods are helpful if you need to make case insensitive comparisons. The is upper and is lower methods will return a Boolean true value if the string has at least one letter and all of the letters are uppercase or lowercase respectively. Otherwise, the method returns false. So if I go ahead and set spam equals to hello world, and then spam is lower, call the is lower method, it returns false because not all of the letters are lowercase. If I call is lower on spam or is upper, it should return false also, because not all characters are uppercase. If I go ahead and call is upper on hello, that should return true. If I go ahead ABC 1 2 3 4 5, the string is lower, that will return true because all the letters in that string are lowercase. If I go ahead and specify 1 2 3 4 5 is lower, that'll return false. And then if I specify 1 2 3 4 5 is upper, will return false also. So the next thing we're going to look at are the isExString methods. So what those constitute are is alpha. So it returns true if the string consists only of letters and is not blank. Is all num returns true if the string consists only of letters and numbers and is not blank. Is decimal returns true if the string consists only of numeric characters and is not blank. Is space returns true if the string consists only of spaces, tabs, and new lines and is not blank. And is title returns true if the string consists only of words that begin with an uppercase letter followed by only lowercase letters. So let's go ahead and work on some of those methods. So hello is alpha. So that should return true. Hello 1 2 3. Is alpha, that should return false. Hello 1 2 3 is all num. So basically this should return true because it's either numbers or letters. Hello is all num. This should return true also because it's either numbers or letters. 1, 2, 3 is decimal. That should return true. So we'll check out is space. Make sure I add enough S's in there and spell it right. So I have a blank space in there, it's true. If I don't put a blank space in there, is space should return false. And then what we're going to do is we're going to check the title. This is title case, and then is title. It will return true. This is title case 1, 2, 3. This should return true also because it's just looking for letters and making sure that everything is uppercase. This, oh, I need to put on my closing. There we go. This should return false because we have a couple of words that do not begin with an uppercase. And then finally, this is not title case either. Okay, so let me see. Oh, I need to copy that. I need to lowercase. So that returns false also. So the isX string methods are helpful when you need to validate the input that the user enters. So that's all I wanted to cover in this video. What we're going to be covering in the next video is some more string methods that you can use.